Hi guys, here I am looking pretty scruffy. So just as well that my face is mainly in the dark. And what I really want to do is give you an idea of where I'm staying. So I'm moving the camera around. Might be a little jerky. Don't call me a jerk, but it might be a little jerky. This is this is my environment here. I have no idea at this point whether you'll be able to hear the water or not. And I'm in a public space, so sounds might come and go. People might walk in. There could be a plane even occasionally going overhead. But if you happen to be diagnosed with cancer, there could be a lot worse places to stay. So as you're watching this scene, as you're listening to my voice, as you're feeling yourself sitting wherever it is you're sitting now, I want you to just begin. To take a kind of breath. And however it is you think and feel, just hopefully you can have at least a moment of feeling thankful. So here I am with a cancer diagnosis. Big deal. Definitely a big deal. And I'm definitely feeling thankful. Feeling thankful for the sun. I'm feeling thankful for the health that I still have. I'm feeling thankful for my friends, my family, the fact that I've got at least a few dollars in a bank account or two. And, as it turns out, this hotel where I'm staying right now, this resort, is owned by a good Thai friend of mine who I made friends with about maybe, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. I did him some favors, nothing big, but stuff that was more challenging for him because he doesn't have much English. I translated some stuff. I did a bunch of little things because he seemed like a nice guy. And I certainly wasn't doing it to make any money. And then it turns out down in Chiang Mai here, I was helping him in Chiang Rai. Down in Chiang Mai here, he had already owned this resort. And when I was looking for a place to where I'd have to stay for 2 months, I wasn't even sure if I remembered the name of this place correctly. And I wasn't necessarily planning on anything special happening. But when he saw me, he was so happy. And he gave me this incredibly special deal for staying here for 2 months, just as his way of saying thank you for the little things that I've done for him. And that's part of the blessing I'm feeling from this diagnosis is connecting with some people I haven't connected with in 30, 40 years and having people like my friend Kun Deng say thank you and making some new friends like some of the people working here now and becoming friends with because I'm also giving them some suggestions to improve their hotel and they're very appreciative also. And I guess to some extent, I've always liked to pay it forward if possible. You know, pay it forward. And I'm always reminded by one of my very favorite lines from the Beatles, which is, the love you take is equal to the love you make. So do a favor now, not with a plan of, oh, if I do this, maybe I'll get something back in the future, but just you do a favor now for someone, no big deal, or sometimes a big deal, but anyway, you just do that favor because you got some love in your heart. And it's the good feeling spreads out. And then sometimes, like in the case of this resort hotel my friend owns, sometimes you get a lovely little payback. Oh, and even if you don't get anything quite as clear as the payback I'm getting now, you still, it's pretty obvious that people are thankful when you do something nice for them. So, a couple of things I wanted to talk about in regard to my treatment. One of the things I notice, like I've got 3 very nice doctors, they all care about me. I mean, I'm one of many, many patients that they have, but they take time for me, they listen, they stop what else they're doing, they listen, but you know what? It, and I'm guessing this to a large extent happens in most, if not almost all hospitals, is no one touches you, which is kind of a lonely thing. And last week, when I went for my weekly interview with my radiologist, first thing he says, so how you doing this week, Charlie? I said, you know what? I'm doing pretty good. What was his reply? Don't get complacent. You got a lot of tough times coming up ahead. I'm like, no, thank you. So I have to be really, you have to be really careful to balance what you're going to do with the information someone like my doctor gives me, which I can't deny to some large extent, it's most likely true that there's going to be some tough times coming up ahead. But you know what? I'm going to do my best to not think about or in any way engender those tough times, even 1 minute before they start happening. So in other words, I won't be taken by surprise, I don't think. But oh my goodness, do I not? Like today is a lovely day here, which is one of the reasons I decided to do this video. If I was sitting here in any way, shape, or form thinking, oh, next week is most likely going to be really difficult. What do I do but take away from the lovely day that it's possible to have today? And I think to a large extent, many of us, many of us tend to do the same kind of thing on a regular basis in our everyday lives. Early Sunday evening, maybe you start to feel antsy because, you know, Monday is going to be the start of a tough week. And so you kind of lose the rest of Sunday. So here I am. And so in the radiation clinic area, which by the way, interestingly enough, happens to be underground, which is, I don't know exactly the importance of that, but seems a bit ominous. So there's no touching. And most of the people sitting around waiting for their radiation treatment, bless their souls, at least 60, 70% of them seem like they're already close to dying. You look at their eyes, zero smile on their face, slumped posture. And what I do my best to do when I go into the radiation department, actually, on my way there, I kind of get out my bicycle pump and pump myself up a little bit. So when I come in, first thing on the left, there's two ladies behind the counter that handle your documents and stuff. I make a kind of Popeye um, signal. What's the word I'm looking for? But I give them my Popeye stance, and I say I'm feeling good, and they smile, and a little bit they'll laugh maybe, and then things never run on time because someone has some kind of good problem in any way. So a 4 o'clock appointment becomes 4:30, sometimes as late as 5. But that's the way it is. The doctors are not, taking a nap somewhere. They had some kind of emergency, or anyway, maybe a couple of people showed up that weren't meant to. So one of the things I started doing, sitting there in the waiting area with usually 6 to 8 other people who are going to be getting radiated that day, I start doing some chanting. And chanting is something that I learned how to do in Japan. I studied it rather seriously. I don't know exactly what's going to happen when I start chanting for you today. I might have a fair amount of coughing. The coughing will be as a result of the treatments I've been receiving. But even if I do cough, I want to assure you that I'm not like going, oh, damn. In fact, I need to cough now. I'm going to be putting out energy. I'm going to be radiating energy. What we learn how to do in Aikido and in chanting and in various other art forms, you learn how to send energy out into the universe with the understanding that the universe somehow feels or perceives that energy, and that the universe in some way is very thankful for that energy. And sometimes, I don't know if I'll get the words quite right this morning, but sometimes when I first sit down, I say, God, please send your blessing to every living life form in the universe. Love them and appreciate them just right now, sending your love, God, out into the universe. And it's kind of like, and it's only after doing that that I would even consider, asking for something for Charlie. Oh, Charlie needs X, Y, and Z. Charlie needs a new girlfriend. Charlie needs another $10,000. Charlie needs. I really try to not do that. So I've started to do this chanting in the radiation waiting area. It's a pretty big area. Not loud, not loud. I'm not trying to show off. I'm not trying to make a scene. Believe me, no. And what I've noticed in the last week is that people that have come in after me waiting for their radiation are starting to sit closer to me than they used to because they want to feel the love is the way I think of it. So here's a couple of minutes of chanting. Tohokami emi tame, Tohokami emi tame, Tohokami emi tame, Tohokami emi tame, Tohokami emi tame. Tohokami emi tame, Tohokami emi tame, Tohokami emi tame, Tohokami emi tame. Feel yourself sitting wherever you're sitting. Notice the lighting in the space that you're in. Maybe your hands are on the table, maybe they're in your lap, your feet perhaps on the floor. Tohokami emi tame. It's, there are words in Japanese that are written in kanji, the little picture graphs that Japanese people write in, and those picture graphs are also concepts. So you can look at a certain picture graph and speak it in a number of different ways. So Tohokami emi tame, to the God of all life who gives us everything, we say thank you. To the God of all life that gives us everything, we say thank you. And so, like I say, in the radiation area, some few people start sitting closer to me. Pretty much everybody at this point smiles when they see me come in. And my thinking is, if I'm going to sit here for, say, a half hour this afternoon, let me do my best to give a half hour of blessings. A half hour of blessings. So here we are, Chiang Mai, Thailand. Lana Boutique Resort, owned by my good friend Kun Deng. Thank you, Kun Deng. Thank you to his workers. Thank you to the universe. And I want to take this time to say, and thank you for this cancer.